Monday morning. And West Ham have come off a pre-season win. We've got 2 more games left. We've got a behind closed door against Lille, and then we play them on Saturday at the London Stadium for the joke of a cup that we never ever win, even though it's at our own stadium. Last night, it was at times difficult to watch. I see a lot of channels say it was a Moyes classic, and a lot of people on Twitter saying it was a Moyes masterclass. For about the first 20 to 30 minutes, we couldn't even get out of our own half. It was really hard to deal with their press. We kept getting caught out in that position between right centre-back and right wing-back. How they didn't score, I don't know. Obviously, they hit a post, they hit one wide. I think at one point, Ariola saved one as well. There was at one point where just after we scored, it was like, how the hell are we not 4-1 down in this game? But to our credit, we stayed resolute. We had a bit of luck. You have to have a bit of luck in games. And listen, I know it's pre-season, but when you play Premier League teams, you get sort of half an idea. In terms of lineup, I was pretty happy with it, apart from Ward-Prowse. Not that he played badly or anything. He just lacks pace. And I think someone like Potts and Paquetá need, a physical box-to-box player. And I think that would really complement it. I think Potts was really good, and he came into the game when he started pushing forward, and he wants to share the passes. He doesn't give the ball away. He doesn't. I think there was only one point where he just got caught. Someone, sort of caught him from behind. But apart from that, every pass he's on, you can tell he's a player that looks, it's a classic. Before the ball comes to him, he knows what he's going to do. He knows he's got a pass there, or he can turn on the shoulder and make the run. He was excellent. We did get the goal. Ball out to Juve. Juve whipped it in. Bowen with a little knockdown, and then Fulkrug scored. It's good. I'm glad he's scoring. It just keeps his confidence going. I know it's only pre-season, but strikers are funny animals where, if they get goals and they get confidence, it can carry on to the early parts of the season. And I hope it does for him. I like Fulkrug. I think he's a great character. But Juve, what a cross. He's good, man. He's a good player, and he did his defensive duties as well. He made a really good block because the ball was just about to get whipped by Tavernier into Nielsen. He blocked that one, and he did make a block later on in the game as well. Like I say, they had their chances. They hit the bar. They was unlucky. I thought they did play some nice stuff, just a bit. Like I say, they wasn't clinical against other teams when we played them. You're going to come up against teams that will be clinical and kill us in the Premier League. So there are still some things that need to be worked on. Second half, he made a few changes. I was a bit frustrated that Marshall come on late. I would like to have seen him a bit more. Same with Alford, and I'd like to have seen a bit more of him. And a couple of channels have said it with Rodriguez. What is the point of bringing Rodriguez on? You want to see what other players can do. I want to see what they're about. I thought Walker Peters did quite well when he come on. Listen, he's not going to set the world light, but he'll do a job. He can play both positions. He doesn't really give the ball away. Like I say, not magnificent, but can do what he does. The second goal did come again, Juve with that amazing cross. What a cross onto the right foot of Bowen. He scuffed the finish a bit, but he did enough for it to go in. And again, I'm glad Bowen scored. He missed a real howler, didn't he, in the first half? Or was it the first half or second half? He missed a real howler where he just absolutely lashed it wide with his right foot. Obviously, his left foot's an absolute wand. But maybe that's something that Bowen can work on, because I think that ball into him's going to come quite a lot this season, where that ball gets whipped in and he's there. If he can work on that right foot finish, it could be a real weapon for West Ham going forward. But 2-0 win. Obviously, we didn't win the summer series. Not that it's a big deal. It's only a pre-season tournament. Obviously, Manchester United drew 2-2 with Everton, which means they won that group by 1 point. I think all in all, it's been quite a decent pre-season. I think Potter is slowly starting to learn his team. There is we're starting to pass the ball about good, but I do still have big doubts. There's times when we were literally passing the ball for possession's sake, passive passing, where we'd pass it around and we'd get to a point and then it'll end up back at Areola, and then it's like we don't know how to break a team down. I'd like us to be a little bit more direct and a little bit more quicker and snappier in the passing, because like I say, we get to a point where it's just, we don't know what we're going to do, and then we're hoping that Lucas can, get the ball, do his little half turn and do them little scoopy ones that he does. It's not going to work all the time, and that's nothing against Paquetá. It's just you need a bit more. We're very slow still as well. We're very, very slow in the pass, very slow in the pace. Before Sunderland, we still need, in my opinion, 2 players. I know the window's still got, just under a month left, and there's still time. And I think things will start going boom, 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 boom very quickly, whether that's with West Ham or just in general. I think the Isak deal could spark off loads. I think if Isak does go to Liverpool will start selling, Newcastle will buy, they might need to sell, and it will just start this merry-go-round of transfers. I do think we're in for a midfielder, and we do need one. We do. Ward-Prowse, Souček, Rodriguez, etc. is not enough. Maybe I'd like to see Alvarez, Potts, and Paquetá together. Maybe I'd quite like to see that. That could be quite interesting. But yeah, and obviously a goalkeeper. If we're going to play the way we're going to play, if we're going to play the passing game, then we definitely need a new goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper will be the next one. And then we've got to try and get some players out. We have Emerson, he's not part of the squad. Rodriguez, no, not for me. One of Ward-Prowse and Souček are going to stay. We need to move some bodies. What we got here. Morning, Luke. In the interview after the game, they did mention Bowenaz is working on right foot shooting. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a weapon, mate. Good second half performance, especially after Bayern scored. Great news to see Paquetá staying. Yeah, by all accounts, Paquetá is happy to stay. Unless the what we get, what we want. The 65 million. I want him to stay. I think he looks fresh. He looks rejuvenated. His mind looks right. He looks like he can really focus on his game. I think he's a real asset to West Ham. And I think if you put in another really good midfielder in next to him, I don't know who that is. I don't ask me to name names. The Fernandez guy, Elliot, whatever, whoever that is next to him, and you've got some real good sharp passing, and Potts is in there. I'm quite confident that we'll have an okay season in terms of, I don't think we'll be hoping that we're not going to be in a relegation battle, and we can sort of just enjoy the football and be a little bit more relaxed, and hopefully over time, as they get more and more used to the system, we start to, Potter more so starts to get a bit braver with his tactics. I'd like to see Alvarez in for JWP, but I think Potter favours JWP. I think so as well, mate. Sounds a bit crackly to me. Nice to see another win. Still need a goalkeeper, 2 midfield. I agree, mate. Still need 2. Sorry if it is a bit crackly, guys. There is also, I live opposite a window shop, and at this exact time they're having a delivery of loads of glass and getting rid of loads of glass. So that might be a crackle. I don't know. But yeah, obviously 2 more games. We'll probably know what, or close to what, the starting lineup is going to be against Sunderland on Saturday in the Lille game. I don't know whether they're showing that game or we'll be able to find a link for that game at all. But yeah, about 2, maybe 3 players away from being a bit more comfortable. Obviously, we need, there's loads you can point out we need, but to be comfortable and to be like, okay, West Ham can good go this season and try and do what we can, it's a goalkeeper and a midfielder for me. Antonio obviously gone now as well since the last time I did a video. That has more or less been confirmed by Potter now. I don't like the way it's been done, but I'm also glad he's not there. That's not because I wanted Wilson or anything like that. Wilson's here now. You get behind him. Not who I would have wanted. I don't think he will be that great a signing, but I hope he is. I hope he is. I wanted to prove me wrong. I wanted to get 10 goals. Score some important goals. Score a hat trick against Tottenham. Of course I do. But yeah, there's the Antonio. I just don't like the way it's done. I think it would have been better to maybe hold that off till the Lille game. Maybe the day before this week now. So, Mickey's going to be there. We'll come out, say goodbye to the fans. That would have been a better way to do it. I think it was a bit classless the way we've done it. But listen, I'm glad he's not there. I don't want him to be an option for Potter. I don't. What we got? Potts has, what's that say? Potts has shown his quality and does half look like his own. Quite, yeah, don't he, mate? Don't he look like old Stevie boy? Hopefully he gets more goals than Steve, though. I think Steve only scored 1 goal ever against Newcastle many moons ago. And what did he play? He played like nearly 550 games for West Ham, didn't he? But what a guy. What a guy Potts is. I did meet him when I was a young lad at Chabweath. Top professional, and he looks like his son has got that as well. He looks top Pottsy, and I think Potter knows that. I think Potter has used him in games. I know he's taken him off at half time, but I wouldn't read too much into that either. I think sometimes when a player's good as well and he's young, protect him a little bit, keep him fit. Because I think he will be used a hell of a lot this season. I really, really do. Juice deliveries were excellent yesterday. They were, mate. Beckham-esque, as Gonzo said. That real whip and that real, what do they call it? Area of uncertainty. That's the football word, isn't it? Where it's just between the penalty spot and the line of the 18-yard box, where the goalkeeper doesn't know whether to come, the defender doesn't know whether the goalkeeper's going to come. I think it's going to be a real weapon. I did say, though, I think Juve, he's only young, isn't he? I think I could see him as a centre midfielder. He's got that physicality. I think defensively you don't have to be as on it as if you were a wing back. I wouldn't mind one game trying him in centre midfield to see what he can do there. I did read they are bringing Antonio back to say a proper adios. Yeah, he'll probably do his video, he'll probably do a letter and all that. But I think he should have been allowed to do that rather than Potter announcing that. The corridor of uncertainty. That's the one. Corridor of uncertainty, according to Andy Gray. Yeah, it was nice to see actually. We get a bit of praise on TalkSport this morning. Who was it? Jeff Sterling, who's renowned for slagging West Ham off, said he was really impressed with Juve, and he's been impressed with what West Ham are doing so far. So nice to see. Usually he's the first one to slag us off. Juve is 20 years old, very young, very, very young. Trying to think if I've read anything else today. Not really. I'll be honest with you. The only thing about Harvey Elliott, I read that Spurs are looking at him, so that could be one that might, and especially now that James Maddison has been injured. It looked quite a bad one, didn't it, Maddison? I don't know if you guys have seen it. Wouldn't surprise me if they do go in for someone like that, Maddison or an Eze or whatever. So that could, could leave other options for us. But we've got to get someone like a Fernandez, an El Canous, a Harvey Elliott, just to give us something else, just to give us to take the pressure off Paquetá to be the sole creator. Obviously, Juve's going to be a creator. I think he'll get a lot of assists this season. Paquetá hopefully will get a few assists, but we need someone else in there that can do it or get us up the pitch. Again, we've got no pace. Maybe Jimmy, when Jimmy Somerville comes back, he will give us something. But we still got what we got. We've still got 2 weeks to the season starts, so there's still a lot of the work to be done, and there's still 3 or 4 weeks left until the actual transfer window closes. West Ham are renowned for their loan to buy options, so I can see 2 loans coming in. I think one will be a loan to buy, and the other will be a loan with an option. Douglas Luiz hasn't gone away. He hasn't signed for anyone yet, so that could still be on the cards. Harvey Elliott could still be on the cards. Like I said, I think one of them One of them we might buy if we manage to get Emerson's, Rodriguez, maybe one other out, and we manage to raise a little bit of money that might be able to fund a buy. But I think, yeah, there'll be a big loan to buy. But I don't know who that will be, because Sullivan loves them. Sullivan loves a loan to buy. So you would expect we would use that loan market. And in fairness, in the past, we have used that loan market quite well. I don't like Sullivan or anything, but I will give credit that West Ham are quite good at that loan to buy market. Imagine if Potter could get a few more players he wants instead of Sully, especially Juve was, one of his calls, and look how good he's been. Potts looks ready to start. He does, mate, and I hope he does start. It gives me some optimism for West Ham. It's been dark days for quite a long time since that Conference League win, even that Conference League season, the actual Premier League season was awful. To see another really good youngster come through he looks ready. He looks better than Ward-Prowse. He looks better than Souček. He's confident on the ball. He will make a mistake. It's just what happens. That's just football. That's just kids. It's if he can go and do what like a Declan Rice did, that you make that mistake once, you never see him make that mistake again. That's when you're going to be top. I think he is. I think he's got top ability. Just got to be given a run. In the team. What we got here? Morning, Luke. I thought Mav looked good again when he came to the back foot. Yeah, Paul from the channel. For those of you who've been around and know Paul thinks Mavropanos has been our best defender this pre-season. Has done really, really well. I thought Kilman was good last night, and I'm one of Kilman's biggest critics. Tabita always looks like he's blowing after about half an hour. Bless him. But there is a good player in there. There is a good player in Tabita. I like Agurd. His pace helps us at times. There was a point where one of Bournemouth players got through. Agurd showed his pace and was able to, overtake, just get his body in front. That's important in the Premier League to have, especially in a free. You can afford to have someone who's slightly not as physical, but has got the pace. But what we do lack is a real physical defender, a Dawson, a Ginge. What we got here? Average age of our team could finally be coming down. Let's hope so, mate. Let's bloody hope so. We need it. We need it to come down. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on yesterday's game and sort of the news that's about there. I expect us maybe to get the goalkeeper done this week. Whether that's Hermanusson, whether that's Suzuki, whether that's that Victor Geezer from Brazil. What was interesting yesterday, just to sum up on the goalkeeper, I do believe that Hermanusson played for Leicester yesterday and Victor played for Botafogo, but Suzuki didn't. Now, is Suzuki the one that's coming? And it's a bit of a smoke screen. We'll see. Anyway, Duncan says, cheers, Luke. Keep believing. And come on, you Lions. And with that, I'll leave it there. Thanks, guys. Please subscribe. I want to hit 5K. I do. Not just for ego or the channel or anything like that. Just to say I've finally done it. It's embarrassing now. 10 years and not hit 5K. It's embarrassing. Get us out of there. Let's go.